Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I've not done a driving video for quite some time, so what I thought I'd do is bring you along with me for the drive to work in the Rover, and just a general chat really about me, the fleets, and also specifically about the idea of daily driving 90s cars. Welcome for some opinion from you lovely people. So come along for the ride. So as you can see, we're right in the middle of a heat wave at the moment. And we all like sunny weather, of course we do, but when you work in a school and when you've got to get up early every morning in the week, sometimes it can wear you out quite a lot, particularly when you can't always sleep very well because of the warm weather. So I thought I'd talk first of all about me, how I'm getting on. I'll keep this brief because I can't imagine people want to hear too much. It's been a bit of a struggle, to be honest, the last few months. Mental health's been challenging for one reason or another. I don't mind admitting to the fact that I'm currently undergoing a round of therapy, which is helping. Various things convinced me that that was the right thing to do. There is a stigma around therapy, as I'm sure you guys know, but I believe that if I'm open and honest about it, then maybe it might encourage more people who could use it but are a bit reluctant to go and take that step. Because it's good just to share your problems with someone trained, and my therapist is really good. She's sharing solutions with me, and it's good just to have a supply of solutions that I can use specific to me. One of the reasons why things deteriorated a bit was because there's some ongoing uncertainty about work next year, and of course the main thing that worries me about that is financially. But I think I'm worrying a bit unnecessarily, because there's other alternative ways in my job or in my line of work that I can earn money. And I'm talking about that at the moment with various people, and fortunately last night I made some big steps to actually make some progress with that. And it's not quite in place yet, but I'm hoping that now that the big stage of registering with a supply agency is now done, essentially, with all the documents and stuff sent through, because that can take a while, things are going to look up with that, and it means I can approach the next academic year with a bit more certainty and confidence, because I want to still, you know, keep enjoying my life and keep enjoying the cars, obviously. And talking about the cars, a bit of a fleet update for you. So this lovely thing, the Rover, still doing really well. It stepped in again for the Allegro recently, as you guys saw with the Willerton Motor Show. The Allegro was going to be the planned car, but the slave cylinder has decided that it doesn't want to wait any longer to get replaced, so the clutch slip came back again. So I loaded everything into the Rover instead, and then we had a great day at Willerton Hall, me and Alice. And I've done nearly 2,000 miles in this, or pretty much 2,000 miles since I had this in February, so it's racking up the miles. And it's coping with it really well. Jobs for this year on this car. The next job's going to be the two new front tyres, because the existing ones are cracked and a little bit perished, so we'll get those through. They did pass the MOT, but they are an advisory, so I'll get those sorted in a couple of months or so. I do want to get the headlining done at the end of the year, because that would then complete the interior. And it does still have the hunting problem when it warms up, because I think I know that the linkage on the cable is slightly stiff for the throttle. When you try and release it from the engine bay, you do have to put a bit of force on it to get it to move, and then once it's warm it's absolutely fine. So I think I need to look inside the throttle body and just see if anything's amiss there. The Allegro, well, that's out of action because I'm waiting for a couple of parts to arrive. I've got a slave cylinder already, I bought a spare one with it, as you guys have seen. I've got a hose on order because the hose to the slave cylinder is perished, so I might as well get that replaced as well at the same time. And also the car doesn't have a fuel filter, so I've ordered the fuel filter as well. I paid the Allegro Club this morning for that, and all that plus postage is just £14. So a couple of simple parts, but really vital for the car. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks that should be back on the road again. I wanted it to be ready in time for the school prom, the year 11 prom. I'm not going to say exactly when that is, but it's very, very close. I don't think the Allegro is going to be ready for that, so it looks like the Rover's going to step in again, and that's absolutely fine. The Honda, as always, still going really well. It's going to go in a couple of weeks for the front brakes and front pads to be changed. So I'm going to get the brakes sorted, then I can say that's all the jobs on the Honda done for the year. Now, the main thing I want to talk about this morning is the idea of 1990s cars and using them as daily drivers. Because I'm sure you guys saw in a couple of videos ago, I went to the Metro Club, or Metro Meet at Gaydon. Talked to loads of Rover 100 owners because I'm tempted to use this and a Rover 100 next year as a daily driver, and then have the Allegro chipping in as and when. And I got loads of positive comments on the Metro video and also on Instagram, THT Motoring on Instagram if you want to check it out. And I even met some people who have one of these cars and a Rover 100 and use them as dailies and say they're absolutely fine. But since then also I've been thinking about a K11 Micra or an N15 Almera. A friend of mine, Josh, whose car you've seen on the road trip for the Peak District, he brought his Almera along. And then look at that, and we're going to be having another road trip with the same people, you know, the hundreds and the Almera and the Metro. Friends bringing along a Metro in a couple of weeks' time, which I'll film for you. And I'm being very kindly allowed to drive a lot of those cars and review them. And it would certainly be very good to compare the Almera to the Jazz that I drive, because my plan is next year, hopefully Alice, who you've all met before, will have a driving licence, and I've said to her that she can basically have the Honda or have use of it. I'll still be the registered keeper, but she'll keep it and keep all the bills for it. She'll be the one using it, and it means there's a space on my driveway. So that way, if I ever did need it in an emergency, because she won't depend on it for going to work, then that might be an option for me to go for 90s cars. And overwhelmingly people have said to me that this and the Rover 100s or a Nissan Almera, first generation Nissan Almera, because that's the 90s one, would be able to cope with this no problem at all. And I think 90s cars, to be honest, were one of the best decades of cars that we've ever had in this country, because I think it was at a time where you started getting more things like air conditioning, you had more things like crash protection, but it hadn't got to a level that we see today where cars are just so over-engineered. You didn't have to worry about rust on 90s cars compared to the level that you had to in the 1970s. If you're buying a 90s car today, obviously you have to check for rust because they've been around long enough for rust to have crept in, and I did check this very thoroughly for rust when I bought it. And as you guys have seen, this is very, very secure for rust. And I've had several chats with Josh, who daily drives his Almera. It's a really lovely example, as you guys have seen. And he says they're cracking daily drivers because they're reliable, robust, got really good air conditioning in, practical, and they're really easy to fix because they're put together, as he worded it, like Lego. He did do a video for me, a brief sort of rundown about buying 90s Nissans, but unfortunately I'm not able to use it because there was music playing in the background, so I'd probably get a copyright strike if I put that on. And part of the reason why I thought I'd discuss this on the drive to work is because I'm going to have a look now and see if there's any 1990s cars that I go past. In terms of ones I have seen, you guys probably can't see very much from where you're standing with this hedge in the way, but from what I've seen over the last sort of week or so, I've seen a couple of K11 Micras. I've always liked those, they're really solid, quirky little cars. Got some early memories of a friend of my grandparents having one of those for a few years. It was a blue 02 reg, I think. I see a couple of Mark 1 Focuses around. I saw a Corsa B the other day. I saw a Volvo 850. And I do sometimes see an MGF and a MG ZT Tourer. I think it's a ZT Tourer, I can't remember. I think it's either a ZT Tourer or a Rover 75 facelift Tourer, I can't can't quite remember which one. But as we're going along now, you can see that all the cars coming this way, they're all very modern examples. I just want to know what you guys think of 90s cars. I've had a lot of positive opinions, but you can never have too many. So, what do you think? Using a Rover R8 like this, alongside something like a Rover 100 or a Nissan Almera N15 or a Nissan Micra K11 or something similar as a daily driver, what do you think? Am I being mad? Because I would have the Honda as a stopgap in an emergency, and I'd always have a second car and a third car to chip into at home. There'd be the Allegro, as I've said to you, and there'd be another 90s car available, hopefully. If I do see an older car coming the other way, I'll try and point it out to you. I'm not going to film the whole journey because you'll probably get bored of me talking quite soon. Because 90s cars now are pretty much at their lowest value. They're going to start appreciating quite soon, I reckon. So I would argue myself that now is a perfect time to drive a 90s car. I don't think this Rover really has opened my eyes to the idea of 90s motoring, because it just does everything that you want it to do. It's reliable, it's comfortable, it's got the 90s charm about it, it's well made. As we know, this is a Honda underneath, so it's been made properly. So I'll probably say that, and you guys will probably agree with me, that the best 90s cars are Japanese 90s cars, or based around Japanese 90s cars, and that's why I mentioned this Rover and the two Nissans. I know the Rover 100 isn't, I know that that's obviously an older design, but they've got a good reputation for reliability. Hundreds, I'm told the K series, provided it's been maintained, is a reliable unit, as long as you don't do stupid things like thrash it before it's warmed up. You check things on it like, you know, the coolant and the oil level, power steering level if it's got power steering, which this has. It's quite a quirky orange smart car. If you do all those things, then they're fine, because the main thing that will kill off a 90s car, I would say, isn't really a mechanical problem, because you can fix mechanics on them quite easily. Either yourself or a garage will do it. It's rust, because if you don't keep an eye on rust in any of these cars, that's when they get uneconomical to repair, and particularly at the moment when 90s cars are so cheap in lots of cases. So that's my thinking, so let me know what you think. Should I get one next year when I can hopefully pass the Honda on to Alice? Am I being mad, or am I being unnecessarily anxious about it? Let me know what you think. Small channel update as well. I have hit 500 subscribers, so thank you very much to people who've been subscribing. I'm at 510 now actually, but I can't yet introduce memberships for the channel because I've not quite got the watch hours. You've got to get 3,000 watch hours in the last 12 months, and I'm up to, I think, 2,760 or something when I checked last night. So I'll make a plea to you guys. Please just play my videos in the background. Just put some music on, or put the telly on, and just have my videos playing in the background on a playlist or something. You don't have to watch them. If you can do me a favour and bump those watch hours up for me so I can hit that 3,000 mark, that would be fantastic. And then at least I can start introducing memberships for the channel, and I can then spoil you guys with hopefully even more content, or early access to various content. Feel how smoothly this Rover runs. Now it's warm, the hunting isn't a problem because the throttle's freed itself up. I've said before that I do feel really lucky having this drive to work. It's beautiful countryside. You'd never get much in the way of traffic. And actually someone said recently, because we all get frustrated by traffic, it's really annoying, use traffic as your chill time. Just sit there and just try and forget about the world for a bit. And one point I could make about the original Almera while I'm talking about general things, random gossip, is it really too different from the Jazz in terms of rugged, dependable, simple, practical, sensible car. There's only 10 years really between the last of the Mark 1 Almiras and my Jazz, because my Jazz is 2008, and I think they stopped making the Mark 1 Almira, the N15, in 1999, I think. I think that's about right. Because I've had a Mazda MX-5 before, a Mark 2, and that was very solid and dependable as a car. That's a relatively old car, a Mark 5 Fiesta. Just seen that, I think that's Mark 5. I mean, that's often the oldest sort of car you see on a drive like this. I want to also plug the YouTube channel of Smashing Pistons, aka Simon. He's one of the best friends I've made from YouTube lately. They're all brilliant people, they really are, people I've met, but Simon particularly, just such a great chap. He's always willing to help out, even when you don't ask him to. You mention the problem that you've got, and sometimes he'll just tag along with whoever you've booked to come and help, or just offers himself. And yeah, he's a great guy, and he really deserves some more YouTube love, because I think he's about 150 subscribers away from 1,000, and I really want Simon to get to that, because he really does deserve it. He's such a good guy. He's always putting everyone else before himself. So even though I've got less subscribers than Simon, anything I can do to promote his channel, because he's name dropped mine very kindly in his videos, so head over to Smashing Pistons and drop Simon a like and a subscribe. He really does deserve it. So yeah, love you, Simon, and let's hope everyone else shows that love for you as well. There's also some exciting stuff coming from Simon's channel quite soon. I'm not going to give it away because that's Simon's job, but there will be some exciting things that I think you'll like. So yeah, tune in, because there'll be some nice stuff that Simon's going to show you very soon, I'm sure. In terms of how the Rover feels to drive regularly, as it's a 90s car, I can provide some context from my experiences. It doesn't feel too different to the Jazz, really. It's more charming, obviously. You've got the wood inside, you've got the 90s style. That's obviously the appeal of it from my point of view. But in terms of how it feels, in terms of how solid it feels, and how refined it is, and comfortable it is, it's actually better, I think. Because nowadays, if I have to use the motorway or a longer journey, I don't need to very often, but I usually use this, just because it's better. The 16 valve engine provides a bit more rev range than the Honda's 1.4 engine does. And because of the nature of the car, it's more refined. There are some rattles, as you can hear. You know, it's an old car, you are going to get things rattling around. I think that's mainly things like parcel shelf and the seat bolt holders. But yeah, you do get the odd rattle. There is a bit behind the dashboard sometimes, but I'll have a look at that. But that's only really when you're on bumpy roads. And talking of bumpy roads, this car has the best suspension of any car that I've owned. Any. It just laps up bumps so well. The Allegro at the moment is quite crashy, but I will look at the suspension on that when I can afford to. The Jazz is okay, but it's not as smooth as this. So sadly the commute to work hasn't blessed us with any more retro cars other than the Rover. But after work today, I'm going to pop along to a classic car meet. We're just going to go past the location for that right now. We're in the lovely village of Papawick. I'll just pan you around so you can see. Sorry about the mount in the way. I've tried every adjustment and it's not had it. But just coming up on your left just now is the Griffin's Head pub. And every week of the year they have a classic car meet over the summer months. So at the moment, come on Minnie, you come in. Thank you. They have a classic car meet at the field at the back. And in the winter they have it in the car park, and it's every Wednesday in the summer. So after work today, I'm going to take the Rover along and I'll film some of that for you. So yeah, we've missed retro cars on this drive, but on the way back when I pop in there for the meat and some dinner, we should be blessed with lots of retro cars to have a look at. Oh, Yaris there. I do like those Mark 1 Yarises. When did they start making the Yaris? Was it 2000 or 99? That could technically get us a 90s car. Let's pan you back round that way. I did nearly buy a Yaris in my first car, and I sort of wish I did, because the Mark II Clio that I had was useless, just went wrong all the time. So I probably should have gone for a Yaris, because I did look at one, but it did get sold quite quickly. Hello Jazz there, although I'm not in the Jazz at the moment. Yeah, it was going down here the other day that I did see a couple of K11 Micras. There's not many other small cars in that era that you see, really, in terms of 90s, because it is a 90s design, even though they kept making it until 2002. You still see the odd Polo from that time. Oh, there you go, K11 Micra. Hey! Hope you all saw that. Just as I'm talking about it. Good, we are blessed with a retro car. Oh, and I think there's a Mark 1 MX-5 coming up here as well that I see every morning. Yeah, there we go. Glad they kept the camera rolling. So there we go. You do see 90s cars. 90s design cars, because the Micra technically was 51. I'm nearly at work now, guys, so I'll come back to you when we're at the car meet at the Griffin's Head. So we've made it. Perfect day to end a long day at work, so let's walk around and have a look at some of the exhibits then. We're going to finish on this TVR. It's lovely. Won't comment on absolutely everything, because you guys can see most of that for yourself, but anything that really grabs my interest, will name drop it and talk about it. Really good mix of modern stuff and modern classics and more so-called traditional classics here. Ooh, Corrado. I think that's an interesting thing.
Says who was it?
Oh, two Volvo P1800s. These are really nice things. Worth quite a bomb now as well. Particularly the white finish, this one, and the chrome wheels. That's really nice. That's a nice retro nod to the late 90s Ford Puma. And look at this. If anybody wants a beach buggy, and here's the details. Ooh, this is interesting. White wall Dodge. Ah, you've got to love a Morris Minor. And this is a really nice one. Look at this engine bay. It's brilliant. Got a Vitesse here as well. That's nice. Here we've got a Singer. This is a nice little thing. Lovely Beetle as well. Mark III MX-5. And look at these things. Two convertible E-types in the best colour. That's nice. Oh, beautiful engine bay. Look at that. Perfect. This looks like a Escort Mark IV, I think. And that's a Mark II Escort. And then we've got some 90s convertibles, got a TF here. Corvette, and then we've got
See you later. See you later.
more TFs here. And something that's really caught my eye here is this lovely little Fiat Barchetta. You don't see many of these around anymore. Left-hand drive, because that's all they were sold for in the UK. You do find a few that have been converted. And they've even got the Italian stripe on this one as well. Yeah, I like this. I think this is the facelifted version, so it must be a 2004 one rather than the 90s one. Yeah, I like this one a lot. I think I saw this at Woolerton the other time. I've seen this at this meet quite a lot, and it's a gold and silver shadow. Silver Shadow 2 you can see on the badge. Vinyl roof as well. And just see the interior there. This van's worth a mention. I was just speaking to the owner, and he says that this is quite a rare one because it was crossover from the split screen before they did the T2 version, and that means that it was a mishmash of a lot of parts, which means that most parts don't fit them, so you have to do a lot of cutting and shutting to get them to fit. Oh, he's even left the bonnet open. There you go. Air-cooled rear-engined. Yeah, these are probably the things these are. I mean, you can see why. Just a nice thing to go for a weekend away in and getting all the looks and everything. And I can imagine these are quite easy to look after because everything's accessible, and it's a VW, so it should be pretty dependable. Got the E-Type Coupe just down here. Oh, is this a 635? I think it is. They're nice BMWs, those. We've got a Mini. And I think we've got a TR4 or TR5 here. I always get them mixed up. Got to film this Capri. This looks really nice. Mark III. Cortina. Mark III as well for that one. That's nice. 205 in the best colour as well. Mark II Jag. Always nice to see one of those. And look at this Mustang. That is a nice paint job on that. And the Beetle next to it as well. Got a Land Rover, Defender, Lotus, some sort of mini car there, and a Dodge van, and a couple of Italian and French heroes here. Got the original Fiat Panda and a Citroen Diane. Mark 1 MX-5 here. We saw one this morning, so might as well focus on the other one. It's always nice when some of the more unassuming classics come here. Got the original Mondeo here. Good to see that you got one that's being looked after. Interior looks immaculate in this thing. It's lovely. Another Mark 1 MX-5 there. And another one here with the hardtop on it. You can just see how many things are here. It's such a great blend of cars. And we've got to give this P6 some credit as well. This is a really nice one. Got slightly different paints on it, but nice nonetheless. Got a 911 as well. Oh, don't know what this is. This thing here. Someone might be able to enlighten that. Got to look at this MGB as well. It's got the low splitter on it. Clearly been modified, but that's a lot of fun to drive. Got another Rolls Royce here, but I think this one's a Silver Spirit. It's I think the successor to the Shadow that we saw earlier on. It's K8 there as well. And that's got a Z3 as well. I've driven one of these before. They're weird things to drive, but they do look quite nice. Got to look at this MGF as well. This is nice. Wouldn't be my first choice of colour, but good example. You can see in there. Matching interior. All looks very nice. And you got the... I love the twin exhaust around the back of these as well. Yeah, one day I'll have one of these. One day. While they're still cheap. And this thing right next to it, this is a Bentley Continental SC. And you've got half the roof missing. This is a good thing. Yeah, very nice, very upmarket. Got more down here, lovely Triumph Stag. There's a little Fiat 500 just about to roll past as well. And there's a Fiesta, I think it's a Mark II, this one. My mum had one of these, it's her first car. An MGB just over here as well. And lovely Fiat 126 here. These were in production for absolutely ages. I can't remember exactly how long, but these lasted a long time. Look at the inside as well. This is worth a film. Mustang's on its way out. There you go, Zephyr. Early one as well. And there's another cool niche car that you don't see much of now. Vauxhall VX220. Basically a Lotus Elise, but still a great car in its own right. Wonder how much these are worth now. I think they're a bit more than the leases, I think, because there's less of them. But yeah, these are nice. Exhaust arrangement, one on top of the other, that's interesting. You don't see that very often. Yeah, that's a lot of fun, I imagine. Right guys, I think that'll do for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.